Zee Avi, welcome to the waiting room.
Thank
Yo,
you.
Yeah. Welcome,
welcome to the
welcome,
What's up,
waiting
welcome.
room.
gentlemen? It's nice. It feels like a little reunion. Because I've known. I mean, Asnil is a legend. Been here for a while.
Osman is legend.
Fabian is like the smile that always keeps on giving, and then Derek's my second time meeting Derek.
It's been a while.
Awesome.
Yep.
What's
So,
happening, man? Everything good?
Who, me?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm
man,
good,
I didn't
good.
mean man. Yeah, man's just not gender specific. Just
Well, I mean, like, there's like how many of us? It's like five of us here.
Yeah.
Could meet
yeah. But
anyone.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, well, I had a press conference today that I completely
Hmm.
forgot that I had to be in, and I was like up late last night with a couple of friends came over, and we had like a pretty late one. So I'm like, oh,
Okay.
What was the
why
press
did I
conference
do
about?
that? Um, I have a new single out tonight.
Oh, excellent.
At
Congratulations.
midnight.
Ah,
Yeah, thank you. It's a new collaboration with some of the biggest names in Filipino music industry. So we have Inigo
Huh.
Pascal, we have Sam Concepcion, we have Moves, we have Vince Nantes who writes for BTS,
Oh.
Oh,
and Eric Bellinger from LA. He's a Grammy Award-winning singer. And then little old me, I'm the only chick on there.
Fantastic.
And I actually
Congratulations.
asked them, I was like, who said no and how far down the list was I? But they
yeah.
assured me that I was the only one that they chose. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Do lah. Okay, I'll take it.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So that's pretty
Eh,
cool. We did things remotely, and then it's gonna come out tonight at midnight. The video is awesome. It's like animated and has like a superhero vibe. And I'm representing Malaysia, so
Yeah.
Selamat
oh,
Hari Malaysia. Weh.
SEA
Yeah.
takeover. Nah.
Yeah,
Where was the
man.
recordings done? Did you have to record your part at home and email them, or
Well,
how
I
was it
went
done?
to, yeah, I went to the Zeno studios. Zeno
Okay.
is my management. I recently just signed with them,
Okay.
and they have like a one-stop shop there. They have film production. They have like production team, talent agency, PR, ad, and artist management. So
Okay.
it's
Cool.
nice. Yeah, I got to go there, just did my part, and then off it went to
Easy
get
peasy.
mixed.
Easy peasy.
You know,
Uh,
I had like one verse, so that
wow.
was my
Nice,
part for the
nice,
time.
That's
nice.
all in a day's work. All in a day's work. Yeah, man. So
But
that's gonna be launched at midnight, is it? Or
it's gonna be launched at midnight. Yeah.
So I'll be up on
Mhm.
YouTube at midnight, or Spotify, or all platforms. Or is it
I think
just
Spotify, and then the video is gonna come out tomorrow at 3
okay?
p.m.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Cool. So Z, maybe
so
you can also share a bit, like, I think it's interesting. I think everybody be wanting to know, like, your entire journey, your process, like how, from the start, like you picked up music and everything.
kasih ringkasan satu lah, ringkasan.
Well, as a lot of you may know, contrary to popular belief, I was actually discovered on YouTube and not MySpace, so we can like start there.
Oh,
Yeah. I started playing guitar during A levels, because I just wanted a cute girl in the band, and I just was like playing open chords with a lot of like gain.
nice.
Yeah, like I'm playing the Strokes, yay, you know.
Yeah,
But I was
man.
just the guitarist, and that's how I started playing guitar. But then it took a back seat when I went to the UK to study.
You study
I
fashion,
studied,
was it?
I studied, yeah, fine arts and then fashion, but I dropped out.
Okay.
I didn't finish. I SPM je.
Same.
Okay.
just
Cheers.
Yeah. And then I didn't even finish A levels. Just fun fact. But stay in school, kids. Stay in school. Okay. Everybody is
Cikgu
gonna
also
need for you to
tanya.
have like 30 years experience as soon as you come out of college. Okay, just
Yeah.
FYI. But stay in
Yeah.
school. Okay.
Grow older in school. Grow older in school. 30
Yeah,
years.
exactly. Give them all your money. But yeah, and then I came back here, had like a little, quarter life crisis, and I got, I used to go out a lot on Friday nights to the loft, which is now no more.
Yeah.
actually.
And that's where we met first time. We played a gig together, remember? In
Yeah, so
the loft.
interesting story. I love the fact that you're there, like you were there, because my memories are very blur about that night. It's like, first of all, like how it happened was that Daryl go
Mm.
actually. So I used to go out every Friday night, like because from the London scene, and they were like the only place in KL that would play.
Yeah,
Um,
tag. Yeah.
yeah, Twilight Action Girl.
Action girl.
Yeah, so I would always come and support, but then after a while, I'm like, okay lah. It got kind of samey, so I just used to just kind of stay home. And then I started picking up my guitar. And then I started writing songs, and then like I think Daryl kind of like, hey, how come don't come out anymore? Stuff like that. And I was like, I've just been at home. So yeah, I heard you're writing songs now, and I'm like, how do you know that? And he's like, okay, I was so small lah, And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I think like the next phone call, he was like, "Hey, Deserta's gonna have a soft launch, at the Loft. Do you want to come and open and play 3 songs?" And I was like, "You haven't even heard me sing, bro. Like I could suck for all you know." And then he's like, "Alah, never mind lah. Anything you do is cool one, okay? 3 songs, ah. Okay, I see you there Friday, ah. Okay."
There you go. That's how it
Click.
used to be done. Yeah, man.
Just complete blind faith. Daryl go have me. And then I invited a friend of mine from college. We used to kind of geek out about poetry together, and so I was like, "You gotta come," because I'm like, I wrote songs, and he didn't come, and he didn't manage to make it. And then so I was like, "Bro, why didn't you come to my show, man? Like it was pretty cool." I remember I played Poppy. I don't remember the other song though, but I played Poppy, and then I did a cover of Ryan Adams.
Yeah. I remember
Oh,
that.
and then I think I did the Morrissey cover too, if I'm not mistaken. I
Which
think.
Morrissey? Is Morrissey or Smith?
Morrissey, First of the Gang,
Okay, nice.
because that was like the anthem for the Loft. Like every Friday night, like when
Yeah.
that song comes on, it's like that
They're
was
so
our song.
Anglophile, yeah. Boom, with the Morrissey stuff, man. It's like, wow. Remember that night? I was like, that was when it was super smoky and yeah. I
The
mean,
good old days.
good old days,
Now you can
Yeah.
smell everybody's perfume.
Yeah, it's too much different smells. This was just smoke last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's
The smell of
equalized.
The smell of smoke and Long Island iced teas.
Oh my God, Long Island iced tea,
Such,
love.
Where was the
such
where was the loft at?
Yeah, where was the loft at?
Zook
Zouk,
is
Zouk
about
Ampang.
So,
Ah, the
Not
original
Zouk,
No,
not
the
Zouk
original
Trek.
Zouk.
No, they're
Zouk,
not.
Yeah.
Zouk
Yeah.
Ampang.
Yeah, the one, the PKLCC.
Yeah.
Now it's
Next
a
to
mama.
Saloma.
Now it's a mama. Do you know that? It's right.
Serious?
Yeah, I
Yes,
went there for breakfast like a couple years back. The building's still there, but it's like something maju lah. One of those.
Ada macam
Disco Mama.
Masa ada aura disco ada tak?
Itulah. Tu I tengok Allah kat atas tu itu is that like the air conditioned VIP room to have your nasi kandar or something now probably. So much history there. There should be a plug there,
Yeah, really. I never go to the Zouk. Like I don't go downstairs ever. I was just at the Loft, and it was small at the time before it was Bar Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think masa dia Bar Sonic, I was already like away, so
Dah
I
benda
never
lain
got
dah,
to
yeah.
experience Bar Sonic. But the last time I was there, I think I was dancing on the DJ console. I'm not sure.
as a few people tend to do anyway.
Yeah, well, because they were like, Zee Avi in the house, and then they played the Morrissey song, and they handed me a mic, and then
Oh.
Lim was like, come up here, and I got ushered on top of DJ console. It was pretty cool. My first time. Really wanted to crowd dive. Not gonna lie, but
Have you ever?
Did you? No, didn't lah.
not yet. And
You haven't
I guess
crowd dived?
now it's not gonna be possible.
No, not yet. Next year
Not
maybe.
yet, at least, exactly. So,
I think
yeah,
everybody must crowd dive once in their life. You have to.
Have you, Derek?
Oh, loads. There was an Irish band called Therapy. One time when we were at the gig and it was packed
Therapy.
in my local town, and it was rampacked, about 700 people. And I initiated the crowd diving. I was the first. I did the first crowd dive and then the second crowd dive. Then this guy got up, and this guy's about a friend of mine, 6'6" and must be about 300 pounds, and he did the Jesus Christ pose like that. With his back to the audience, and just went back, and it was the partner of the Red Sea. Everybody just parted. He just landed on.
Oh no.
Hey, yo.
See, that's what I'm most concerned about. Like, because I'm like the least. You look at me and you're like,
Yeah,
she's
but you're
the
tiny.
least likely person
No one's
to
moving out of
to
their way.
ever do like a crowd dive. So people would probably like not be ready for it. I'm not sure.
There's also crowd etiquette when it comes to girls. A girl goes to crowd dive, you catch. You will be caught. I've never seen girls crowd diving. Not there's general protect the ladies in a mosh pit or a crowd dive.
Moshing also. Okay, so there's this place called Paul's Place that I used to
Yeah,
like
man.
skip.
Oh yeah, I've heard
skip
about
law
Paul's Place.
classes
My,
too.
my regular
I
haunt.
skip my law class, and then I go there and like, go to like underground shows in the daytime with my buddies from law class also.
Shows during
And
the day.
It was during the day, yeah. Matinee.
Matinee
Yeah,
show.
they have matinee. Afternoon shows, yeah. Paul
Oh,
Space, the one in
Yeah,
Uptown,
yeah.
right? Uptown.
Matinees.
Matinees
So
in
yeah,
Uptown.
like I remember trying, and usually like I'd be the only girl in the crowd because the rest were all like their girlfriends like on the side, you know. But I remember like this one time I really wanted to go mosh, and it was going, and then I was like about to get in, and this guy like bumps into me, and he's like, sorry.
Very polite.
And I was like, come on, let's do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's happened before. Right in the middle of it, and somebody, hey, sorry, bro. It's
Like
okay,
the
man.
most polite
rugby.
mosh. Honestly, yeah. So yeah, where was I?
You were
Loft,
banned
and you were doing your YouTube.
Loft. Your show and
Yeah,
us, man.
yeah. So my friend Tups, actually his name Tups, he couldn't make it, and then so I was like, yeah, I really want you to hear this song that I wrote, and he was like, hey, why don't you send me an MP3? I'm like, I don't know how to do that, bro. I have a sound recorder on my dad IBM laptop, and I want a toggle button thing in the middle of the
Tough
keyboard.
back then, yeah. So tough back then, yeah.
And it was like so heavy and no webcam. I'd put sound recorder 30 seconds and and Microsoft Paint, and then that's all. And Solitaire and Shanghai, and that's all you get for that. So I was like, hey, you know what? I have a YouTube account that I used as just to observe, just to like watch videos.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna post it there, and the first song I uploaded was called Poppy. And yeah, and then long story short, I kept posting until finally one of my videos got discovered by a lot of people. I got emails, like 3,000 of them. And I remember getting emails from like, hi, we're a management company, represent Casey and the Sunshine Band. And I'm like, no way. What are you talking? And then I just kept reading all of it because it was insane. Like it was crazy. Like
Did
back
you go
then,
through all the emails, all 3,000?
I did. It took me a few days though, because back then YouTube was a completely different layout and platform, and nothing was based on algorithms yet.
Yeah.
And the featured videos would be picked by the video editors of YouTube. And then they will put 3 to 4 of them on the front page of youtube.com, and they would sit there for like 3 to 4 days. So when people will get comfortable with it, people will have time to catch on to it. Even if you click refresh, it's still there. So my video got picked, and for me as a YouTuber at the time, that was like a big deal. It's like a big deal. So then the drummer of Jack White's side band called the Raconteurs, the drummer Patrick Keeler was the one who found me and was like, yo, you gotta check out this girl, sent it over to this manager, and then they sent me a message that said like, hey, I'm so and so from Monotone Management, we do the White Stripes. I was like, what? MIA, Vampire Weekend, excuse me, the Shins, please say less.
Crazy,
And
man.
Crazy, like, you know, I mean, I couldn't believe it lah. Macam like, biar betul je ni. No
Oh.
lah, no way, no
How
way.
do you verify? You just ask more questions. Prove yourself. Come on.
Yeah,
Or-
I was like, well, you know, like, of course I tried Googling them and, you know, there was not much on Google at the time. And then, like, I found out who owned Monotone Management, and then I Googled his name, and then he's like, legit. He's like,
Okay.
legit
Damn.
dude. Ian Montone. So, and then I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'm interested. Let's consider something. And then I told my parents.
After you signed already, is it? Yes,
Like,
I'll do everything.
after, like, you know, like, verbally, like, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Were you still at law school at the time?
No. This was after London.
Okay. All right.
And
How was that
your page was called Coco Kaina, I remember.
Yeah.
How that name came out? How did that? Was that like a like, how did
Only
like
OGs. Only the real know Coco Kaina. Like, seriously. True.
There's mystery, man. When you got picked up, they were like, "This girl called Coco Kaina," and your videos didn't have your face, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
There's
like,
just
who is
half
this?
of-
Who is it? Yeah, who's this chick? Man, it's like, oh, Coco Kaina, mystery, sign. Tell me a bit how that name came about. I don't know if it's significant, but
Okay,
to
so
you.
there's this club, this music venue, in London, in Camden, called Coco.
Oh yeah, I know Coco.
K-O-K-O.
Yeah, I know.
You know Coco?
Yeah, I know Coco.
Of course. Like, you gotta know Coco.
Yeah, I know Coco.
So I used to go there a lot, too. And
Have loads
just,
of friends
you know,
that
get in trouble every
played Coco
weekend.
and stuff like that.
Good job, bro.
Yeah. Like, it's a fun venue. I saw the Rapture there. I saw a block party
Nice.
there. You know, and then after the concert, there's a DJ set in this big hall next to it. Like, super fun lah, that place.
I used to
Macam
go to
fun zaman jahiliah lah. Like, zaman memang jahil lah. You know?
Dark Ages, kau.
I used to go to the Captain Electric Ballroom because it was just a big. It was the biggest goth
Man, I wish I knew Coco when I went to London.
venue and disco in London.
You were a goth?
I
can
am a
see
goth.
that.
Goth for life, not for
You are a
Halloween.
goth.
I am a goth.
He's like, I am a goth.
I am gotten very offended by that.
What are you talking about, was? What is
Yeah.
this past tense you speak of?
I'm
I don't know
I'm a
her.
good old school 80s goth. I'm not like an emo or anything like that. I'm just, I'm all,
okay.
my sisters.
Legends are God. Legends are God. G-O-T.
God.
God, not
God.
God.
Gotik.
I actually seen on Mid Valley yesterday. I was in Mid Valley yesterday with my sister. I seen two goth girls. It's the first two goth girls I've seen in Malaysia. I haven't seen any.
Wow.
But they were
Yes, sir.
they were
The
goth.
first
Oh my
proper
God.
golf I ever saw was I was busking back in Perth. It's like I was busking and two figures walked past me in like black and white makeup. I couldn't tell which was the boyfriend or girl, or they were both girls.
Well, that's goth.
Walked passing by
We're
me
always-
and they
always
give me
very
they give me, but they gave me $1. It's kind of sweet of them. You know, smiling.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
a big deal. They must have really liked
We're
you.
we're a very
Yeah.
friendly race. People think goths are all
Very
miserable.
friendly.
So we're very friendly people. So
Are you guys a race? I did not know
Sometimes.
that. This is new information.
sometimes
It's
Oh,
like,
God.
Derek,
Like-
the Irish guy. No, he's not Irish. He's Gothic.
He's goth.
Okay.
goth first, Irish second.
I want to see your passport. Is it black?
No, it's unfortunately.
Derek's
it's not.
soul is black. Though.
My soul's black. Very. Anyway, enough about me. Back on to you. All this tangent stuff. So Coco, London.
yeah, Coco.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
And then Kaina, I think, you know, it's a nice play on word.
okay.
And also it
Yes.
sounds kind of, you know, Hawaiian a bit. Like,
Mm.
Kokaina.
So Kaina was just like random.
Well, kind of.
You gotta read between the lines, buddy.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Or is the story is the
Read between the
story
lines.
Too much into it.
sensitive?
Anyway, lepas
Anyway.
tu,
So did the management company bring you to the States then to start
they did,
recording?
they did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we got on Skype and then they complimented my English.
Get it all the time, Lou. Yeah.
Let's take a moment.
Straight away.
Thanks, I learned it from Sesame Street, but I can only count to 12 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12.
Uh, My,
And
Oh
then
man.
my wife went
so
to
we were
UFC, University of Chicago. My wife's Malaysian. When she went there, they literally asked her, "Do you still live in trees in Malaysia?"
It's a curse of being Malaysian, man. Our English is too good. I was playing Japan once, and then the
imagine
bar, the
being
guys were saying this.
from Borneo. Just
Yeah.
gonna say that. Just saying.
Okay. Lagi best. Lagi tu.
We get Malaysians asking if they have to
Yeah.
change money to come to Sarawak.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah,
Oh
man.
God.
Yeah. But still got
Kena
visa.
tukar jam tak?
But still got visa.
Still got visa. Hey, I married a Dayak lady, and I still cannot stay longer than 3 months. But maintain that, please, because all the assholes from Malaya come there and
What?
You know,
things.
okay, this is like way out of context of my whole timeline. But I have also a podcast called Oha TV,
Okay. Cool.
where
Okay.
where we highlight Sarawak.
And we're back with the second half of the Zee Avi podcast. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I am
Hello,
loving
hello.
this time. Like it just really feels like I'm just lepaking.
Yeah.
That's
Wow, great.
That's what we want.
That's
from
what
the
we're
podcast.
trying to achieve.
That's what we're literally what we're trying to achieve. A chilled out
nice.
conversation.
We spent many hours and meetings to get that vibe, So we're gonna
Yeah.
We had focus
Hard work.
groups. We had loads of
Yeah,
focus
go on.
groups.
6 months of
Which-
pre-pro just to
the
get
focus-
here, okay?
The
The
method,
focus
Yeah,
groups
6
only
months.
involved us.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much professionalism that a taxi looked this amateur? It's really
Yeah.
difficult.
This is
Yeah,
all
all of
intentional.
y'all like had a group meditation about it
Yeah.
together.
Correct.
It's all production design, This
Yeah,
is we're
We
actually in
told
the same
Asmil,
space.
can you get a portrait behind you on the wall, some weird
Yeah.
lights
Yeah.
in the
It's a
corner.
good
Snare
color
drum there.
swatch that's
Lovely,
happening right now
lovely.
too.
Tens and tens of cents went into
Tens and tens of
went into
Tens
achieving
and
this.
tens.
Tens of cents and literally no sense at all went into achieving what you're seeing here. It's fantastic. So we left you off and you were in doing your first. You went really from 0 to 100, going from YouTube performer, never been in a recording studio before, to actually been in like not even a like a home studio. You went straight in at the deep end, full on professional recording studio.
From webcam to studio.
From
yeah.
webcam to full on studio.
Yeah, and
So,
real
so-
microphones too. Because like when I was recording on YouTube,
Yeah.
my dad had the headset with the mic. The
Yeah.
closed ones. Like, legit.
That's how
And
you
I actually
That's how you recorded yourself with a headset.
yeah,
mic.
on YouTube, yeah. And I actually really liked the sound because it had this like lo-fi feel, and
Yeah, I
my
understand what you
webcam
mean.
was like this really cheap like
Yeah, I
Logitech
understand.
webcam. It was like super grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
I'm
was
sure
like
people now use apps to make it sound and look that way.
Yeah.
yeah, there's an app for everything these days,
Plug in.
No.
You got to plug in to make yourself sound worse. than
Like
it-
10 years later, look at me. I have my HS7 Yamaha monitor speakers, change. Yeah, my AKG mic, my key, a ring light, my pop filter.
Ring light.
So after you recorded your vocal and guitar, did they build your songs around you, or?
I'm
how did
sorry?
After you recorded your guitar and vocals, did they build the song then around?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't change much. What they did was they enhanced it and they, let me have like full creative control. But
Nice.
honestly, there wasn't much that I could say because everything sounded beautiful. Because Brushfire Studio is solar powered and it's different now. Different sound when everything's like powered by the sun, Yeah, and Robert Carranza was my producer for my first album. And if you notice, my first album, vocals dry, no harmonies, all single track, very minimal. But I don't know, he's magic mixer because he also did, he did Paul's Boutique, Beastie Boys. He
Yeah.
did Beck. He did like so many other people.
How
Jack
is he as a
Johnson
person?
stuff, of course. Oh,
How's this
my
person
God,
approaching
he's
you the first time?
So, Robert Carranza.
Ah.
Wow, he is like he was my Buddha.
Wow.
he was in a rock band, like a hair band, like back in the 80s. Never touched any substances.
Wow.
No drink, no drugs, nothing. Sober and very mindful and very aware.
How
And he
did
taught
he
me a
last
lot.
the 80s by not touching any goddamn things?
Oh.
It must have
Rare,
been
man.
a lot of
Yeah.
discipline.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of discipline. That's why I say he's my Buddha, because like there would be times when I would
Yeah.
like doubt myself, and he would like just steer that ship around real quick and make me like even stronger, I guess, as
Well,
an
that's
artist as well.
That's the thing of a good producer.
Yeah, no
Good
ego,
producers are
nothing.
they're not just
Hmm.
engineers or producers. They're also guidance counselors.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like, producers, they really have to have like a mutable energy about them because they have to adapt to different types of artists.
Yeah.
And we all come with our own personal situations too,
The
and
best producers I always find are empaths. They're all empaths. They know.
yeah,
They
well,
get the,
Robert
they get
was
the
like
vibe.
Papa Empath.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
get they just get the vibe of what's going on.
Papa Impa.
Mm, yeah.
Soft skill. This is stuff that no you can't learn anyway.
You can't
you
can't
gotta be a
teach that.
human being.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you
teach
gotta
it.
be a
Yeah.
human being.
Yeah, really. And that's tough. I don't even know how to human yet. Very
Let
difficult
alone
to
be.
Yeah.
So
You're, fi-
yeah.
you're figuring out self to be human. I guess that's why we write songs, right? I guess.
I
People-
always find that like writing songs, that's definitely my outlet to process a lot of my insanity. Like
Yeah.
like my song Sibuk Kita Nangis, which is on my second album. That one
Yeah.
actually I wrote for myself. Like
Nice.
there's always a higher voice sort of channeling through
Catharsis.
and
Mm.
so-
That's interesting. I mean, they mentioned that, but I mean, like, people. Once you became a recording artist, of course, the perception audiences think about what musicians are, right? Now we're in a room here, we're all musicians, and it's always interesting when people assume that. Sometimes, the public would think that, hey, you're a musician, you probably figured everything out. What do you think of that? I mean, like, betul tak? I mean, like, the people would think like, hey, yeah, you got it's sorted.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like especially for me too, I'm also cosmetically I guess in a very unique position because a lot of people don't understand that I am an independent artist. But my songs are more popular than me. It's okay lah, it's my legacy. Like people know Kantoy, they don't know my face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like bro, like I need to play shows as well to eat. Like that's how I punch cut
Yeah.
into my
Yes.
office.
Yep.
If I don't punch cut, then but thankfully, I have things like royalties and stuff like that keeping me afloat. But that's not instant.
No,
Of course.
that's every year.
Like twice a year,
Yeah.
But then that all comes from like like expenses and things like that. So no, like we don't have it all figured out. Like in the end of the day, like we have to pay to live on this planet just like the rest of y'all.
Yeah, I think that sensibility that you gotta play a turn is still not. It hasn't dawned, and let's say people are starting out. They think
Yeah.
it's some whole. You just have this pot of gold. You sing, and the pot of gold appears.
Yeah, and also like that actually carries into a lot of my relationships as well because like
Okay.
obviously they are attracted to this romanticized idea of me.
That's the
You know,
question
as
I was
some
going to.
stress.
That's the question I was going to ask
Yeah.
next. How did you cope?
Yeah.
How did you cope, and how did your relationships with back when you came back to Malaysia cope? How were your relationships with people when you that sort of fame hit that quickly? How did you did you struggle with it?
Okay. I actually, on top of the fact that the older you get, the less friends you have, like I actually lost quite a few because I am just really, really crap at being in touch. And, people in the past, like there have been people who are very sensitive about that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, the phone
Yeah,
works both
yeah,
ways,
yeah.
man. You can text
Yeah.
me also anytime. Oh, but ingat
Yeah.
you busy. You tahu kau I busy? You psychic.
Yeah.
You tak tanya
Exactly,
pun. You tak
yeah.
tanya. Just tanya lah. Hey babe, are you busy? Kalau
Yeah.
I tak reply means I busy lah. Sorry.
Yeah,
tak payah
bukan
you
lah.
nak bukan aku nak no tak. You know, I grew up as an only child, so like that loneliness aspect of me is always in me. Like
Yeah.
I will always like constantly, you know, try to like fill, you know, my friendship.
You know how to feel.
wants-
Yeah.
You
But
know,
the
and
good friends will always be there. Like real life, the good
the
friends
good
always
friends,
know
the good
real
friends
life.
understand,
Yeah.
and it's very
Yeah.
rare, very very rare. Especially for me
No.
too. I find it like very hard to like trust new people as well because I'm like, you want to be friends with Izian or Zee Avi? Which one?
That's true.
Because
That's true.
both of
It's
us
an
have our
interesting question.
complexities,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
like I don't like to do skip and sing bitter heart hum all day. Like that's not me. You know,
Yeah, that's
behind
true.
those
That's
songs,
true. That's
behind
true.
those songs are a sad and melancholy girl, and that's
Yeah,
who I really
yeah,
am. And all that
yeah.
the songs come from all that crazy. Like, are you
Yeah.
That's
able
true.
to be
Yeah,
open
yeah,
for
yeah.
that? You know, like no clout. You can't. No, there's no clout through me. Like you can't be. You know, being friends with me, you don't have clout. Let's just put it
Oh,
that
they're
way.
some of them are looking for Jalan, are they?
Looking for
Oh,
Jalan.
looking for
Yeah,
jalan,
boy.
huh? But yeah,
Aduh.
I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, people are like a lot of times are attracted to the romanticized idea of me until they realize, oh, shoot, like you're actually a person. Like you have
Person.
those emotions too. Like you have insecurities and you have baggage. Like, okay, I cannot. You know. So
So,
and then what do I? And then I just write about it lah. About how I'm so sad
Yeah.
about that.
so in all
Yeah.
the years, in all the years since you went from 0 to 100 and until now, how much of it have you been Zee Avi and how much of it were you like Isian?
I'm Zee Avi when I work or when I go out around people, but I'm actually like a hardcore ambivert. You know, like
Okay.
the Zee Avi extroverted side is the one that like is the trouble lah that like drags Izian, I feel, who writes the songs, the introverted side, and to like process them. But I try not to kind of overwhelm myself because in the end of the day, like it's still my voice, still my stories, you know. But it's just like I progressively every single day, like I try to reflect a lot and think about ways of how I can improve myself spiritually, first and foremost. Second, music. But
Yeah.
first and foremost, I gotta make sure, you know, I'm like an okay person to be around. Just, you know, an okay person to be with myself.
Yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know, like now starting to realize that, okay, like I think the most important thing in life is to really find balance within yourself and your emotions. And I'm excited to see like what kind of songs will come out of that because like
Yeah.
first
Yeah, that's
album
nice.
came from, you know, the normal trifecta, heartbreak, sadness, you know, things like that. Just a way to deal with it, I guess. But it's actually, as you guys know, a lot harder to write positive songs
Up songs. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not make it sound cheesy. You know what I mean?
I know very few people who can do that well, who can write up songs and without making it sound cheesy. It's an incredibly difficult
Yeah,
task.
that's why I love
Yeah.
telling stories, you know, and like just slip in those messages in those stories. And I think like that kind of thing, like I take a lot from listening to, you know, like I love the Carpenters, Joni Mitchell, a lot also.
Joni could do it. Joni's great.
Joni is awesome. I aspire to be Joni when I'm 70, and then we'll do this again. And then you know, like everyone now because she's lived through the iconic eras, right? So she's just like, yeah, ask me anything, I'll tell you what I hate.
Yeah. She's her completely, right? I mean, when you see her now, right? Yeah.
Joni
Yeah.
Mitchell has earned the right to fucking be grumpy as much as she wants to be. You know, she's
Oh
lived
my
through it
gosh.
all.
She's
lived
steady,
through it
man.
all.
Like I really want her to be my godmother. Like that's all I want. You know,
A godmother who can write amazing songs and sing that goddamn well. Well, it's not just how
she
well
can teach me all of her alternate tunings on
Yes.
guitar.
Oh, that's another thing too. Yeah. I mean, she's damn inventive, man. It's like,
And then I'll be like, so tell me more about Jaco. Was he cute?
yeah. Classic lah.
Yeah, so so I take a lot from songwriting from like jazz as well.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was about
Okay.
20 when I started to 21,
Mhm.
22. I was back here when I started to really ap- try to appreciate jazz, and then finally I understood it. And then I think that's what kind of attracted me to songwriting, because if you hear a lot of vocal jazz songs, the recipe is very simple: simplicity, authenticity, honesty.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it's
Yep.
like
Yep.
you find out that all of them are actually saying the same things,
Yeah.
but there's just all these different ways of saying it.
Yeah.
But I think the one that really, okay, this is just going to go into, just go with the flow, lah. Go with the flow,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
The two songs that started me songwriting, like really, really sit down, pen and paper, was "Alone Again Naturally" by Gilbert O'Sullivan, and "Who Loves the Sun" by the Velvet Underground.
Okay.
Nice.
Because I was like, yo, listen to the lyrics, and what is this world that they created?
Yeah.
It's like lyrics are here, melody, atmosphere of song is up there where you're like skipping to it. So I
Powerful.
guess, yeah, and I really relate to that a lot, because I feel like that world embodies me as a person too. There's a lot of like weight in those songs,
Mm.
but like just because something bad, you don't have to put a minor chord there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yep.
it's not like, oh, I gotta put salt here. Yeah. But how did
Yeah.
discovery come along? What was it very I mean, your sense of discovery about this world of songwriting and the music you're listening to. How did that come about? Was it just yourself, people suggesting, or you just discovering? How did it go
I
about?
think just discovering, because back then where got Spotify, YouTube, really that
Itulah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Man.
Exactly. No robot to suggest you what to listen. Yeah.
tell
Correct.
you, okay, the Holy Grail,
Mm.
Sungai Wang.
Hey, my weekend. I naik bus dari Bangi tau dulu. Sabtu turun.
Yeah. So Derek, Sungai Wang.
Apa ini?
Yeah.
Sungai Wang is in Bukit
Sungai Wang,
Bintang. It's one of the oldest malls in KL, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, during the time of like pirated DVDs and things like that, there would be this one store. I think it was like on the third floor or something like that, like in one of the alleys, the
It's
Kablakang, where they
it's
would
always
sell.
on the third floor.
Yeah, they would sell all these awesome CDs for like 10
Yeah.
ringgit. And CDs
Yeah.
are expensive. Growing up, I didn't have
Yeah.
that
Mahal
kind
gila
of money.
babi tu.
One CD for like 40, 49, 90
Yeah,
ringgit, 50
correct.
ringgit. I can buy 5 with that. I can buy
Correct.
5 CDs with that. So I think also at the time I was watching a lot of black and white movies, a lot of movies, and like I like anything before 1979. That's just my where
Okay,
I
so what-
live.
From the film, what are some of the films that really left a mark on you?
I watched The Holy Mountain before I could understand.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
I watch a lot of like the Criterion Collection as well.
Mhm.
I love anything in the Criterion Collection. But also
And the-
the Virgin Suicides. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, of course.
That's
Couple,
new,
Yeah,
but the soundtrack,
it's way before. Yeah.
amazing
Great stuff.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like also I grew up watching The Wonder Years. I
think
watched from start. to
Oh,
end.
Wonder
Yeah.
Years.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We
So
love-
Winnie Cooper, Kevin Arnold, like,
Yep.
and the soundtrack was great. I
Marlon
remember
Marlon
like,
Manson.
Yeah, apparently Marilyn Manson was in it. Yeah.
No.
Rumor.
Everybody thought that the rumor when
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson first came out in the early '90s, everybody says that
Yeah, that nerd. Yeah.
the nerd was
The-
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
yeah.
which
He's
Marilyn
like, I
Manson-
wish.
Which Marilyn Manson had to dispel himself. Like he had to come out and say, "Listen, I'm not the guy from Wonder
Bless.
Years."
But he was a nerd, but he just was a different nerd.
he
Not
was
on
a,
Wonder
he,
Years.
he was a,
Yeah. Not Paul.
he was
Yeah.
not
Not
Paul.
Paul. Kevin Arnold's best friend, not
Yeah,
him.
he was not Paul, but they sort of had similarities. They had sort of similarities when they were growing up. But yeah, it was
But I
a
think it's
it was
interesting
a
what you
great
point out.
reversal.
Film. Yeah. Film
Yeah,
and TV
from
and
film,
music.
but then
yeah.
and also like I of course my transition from in A levels, because I was exposed to a lot of like emo, post-hardcore, all of that. Like I went through all of that, hence Paul's Place. So I used to listen to a lot of Zeppelin, but then I've always been the type of who were their influences. And then through that, I found out it was Howlin' Wolf, and then from there, I listened to a lot of blues. I listened to a lot of Muddy Waters, Little Walter, all of them, and Howlin' Wolf, of course. And then from there, I listened to that led me to folk.
Should be going to
And then sort of
Lead
kind of
Belly and stuff like that. You eventually start getting
Yeah, Lead
there.
Belly, yeah, exactly. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. Building.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's the source.
the trajectory is always that way, isn't it? When you start digging and really being curious.
It's always in the
it-
past. You always start
Yeah,
looking for
yeah.
influence. That's what we used to do back in the day. You
Mistake
look
and
Then-
a band and influences
know-
of influences of influences.
And then, of course, like, in the early thousands, like, I went through the whole, like, boy band, girl band thing, because that was...
You gotta go
just-
through that. Yeah, normal lah.
Yeah, But,
Yeah.
but for me, my connection was really the songwriting of, especially in the 70s. I love everything in that era. Like, even the disco ballads, I love them all.
Oh man,
Yeah, like
there's layers. Yeah.
there's layers, there's so much poetry, there's... And I love that. I love that sense of elegance with conveying something. You know,
Yeah.
everything now is like very straight to the point. It's like, ain't nobody got time for florals
There's
in
no
their
patience.
in their grammars. Like grammar who? Who grammar? I don't know her. Like that. Like
That's because
and that's fine. They're good bops, every now and then. But I feel like when I find songs that I have a connection with, that's truly when I become more inspired.
because kids today don't read lyrics. They don't have records where they sit down and open up the record.
Like
pull it out,
mumble rap
and
is a thing now.
Mumble rap. Yeah.
I've come across that recently.
Mumbling.
Yeah, mumbling is a thing. Oh my god.
What an excuse! Cannot write, so you mumble.
My next
Good.
album is just going to be me breathing, and that's it.
It'll be a hit, you know.
Just
yeah. Avant-garde, man. Yeah. You get into another festival circuit there. The avant-garde circuit, man. Yeah.
yeah. Open for Yoko Ono, no problem.
Yeah.
I've actually seen her live. I
Seen her do
adore
what
her.
live? What are you, in person or seen her play?
Ono.
I've seen the Plastic Ono band's
Oh god, what did she do?
rehearsal
What was
at
it
Brooklyn
like?
Academy.
Okay.
And Sonic Youth made an appearance.
Wasn't built. They just
Austin Moore and
I
Kim
would,
Gordon.
I would like to have a long talk to Kim Gordon about appearing with Yoko Ono. Kim
It
Gordon
was
to be
really-
sat
she
down and have
seemed like
a
a
long
very nice
conversation.
lady. She's like, today is my birthday. I am 77 today. Yeah, can you believe it? So I want you to look at the person next to you and tell them you love them.
Wow. And then she
And then she
screams.
sings this song. Don't worry, don't worry. It was great. I loved it.
Pure lah, very pure kan? Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. No one. There's only one Yoko Ono
Oh,
in this whole
yeah.
entire
There
dimension
certainly
that we
is.
live in.
That's true.
Only one.
Oh man. Oh,
That must have been some experience, man, to watch Yoko Ono live.
I know.
I think
right?
the funny, I think the funniest.
When was that? Was that when you were first in the States or?
I was living
Probably.
in New York at the time.
I think the funniest Yoko story was that I've ever heard was when it was on an old American TV show, and was the John Lennon and the Plastic Ono band, and they're playing with Chuck Berry, and so John's there playing with his goddamn Guitar Hero, and two of them are all playing the song live, and you could just takes a mic from in front of John and just starts screaming like a lunatic.
I know the story, yeah.
And you want to see the face on Chuck Berry. Chuck just looked over at John Lennon like going, "What the fuck is your missus doing? Get a hold of her!" and he's just like,
my
"Oh,
favorite
God."
my favorite line, and also, like before the thing started, they had like this projection play, and there were like things said about Yoko Ono, like Yoko Ono is a living haiku. I mean, there's a reason why one of the coolest guys in the world loves this woman. But I think like my favorite line is when Yoko Ono says to John Lennon, like, "I love you," and then he says, "Unfortunately, me too."
Couple goals.
That's a man who knew he was trapped by his own feelings. He said, "There's no escaping his own goddamn."
No, but that's the kind of bond and marriage brings you. You can have that humor.
Yeah,
Right?
it's really
Yeah.
crazy. If you guys see like John's
true.
evolution, they start to look alike after a while.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yes.
I've met Sean Lennon also. He's really nice, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, Sean is the Yoko. Okay. The son with Yoko, not Julian.
not
Julian
No,
was
Julian's
Julian's
with his
first one.
first wife.
Okay. Oh man.
Yeah.
See,
Interesting,
talking
man.
about all these people you've met, Gan, I still remember, like, I think one of the highlight, like when you were in the States, was you performing on NPR Tiny Desk. If I'm not mistaken, I think
Oh,
you were the first.
That's my Grammys. That's my version of the Grammys.
Nice.
I'm good, solid.
You made it,
After
man.
that.
That's totally
To be fair, to perform on NPR is a lot cooler than the Grammys.
Yeah, fuck the Grammys, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think the
Yeah.
Grammys has got any cool factor anymore. Grammys lost cool factor about 20 years ago.
Because like people ask me a lot, "You tak nak ke? You don't want to win a Grammy?" As if like I have control over that.
Yeah.
Cik, tak nak ke menang Oscar? Macam, oh tak tahu lah, maybe besok kot. I tak tahu.
But
You know,
NPR is
Yeah.
great.
Tell me about the NPR. I mean,
Yeah.
when you went there, literally was it just office guy's desk? He's like doing his work. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
Bob
sorry.
Boylan's desk. So
Okay.
basically, actually, when I first got to America and we were doing promo, my management was really excited, and they were like, "You cannot believe what just happened. NPR called us and asked for you." And at the time, I was like, "What's that NPR? I don't know." Okay, you don't understand. Okay, we don't think you understand like how big of a deal this is, but they called us. Usually we have to pitch to them.
Wow.
They called us asking for you. So the first time I did NPR was with Guy Raz, and they did like a review of my album. And I didn't know about NPR because doing promo here. I did a couple of promo here before going. It's always like, "Hey, what's going on? Good morning." And today in studio we have Zee Avi. Zee Avi, how are you? And NPR is like, "This is Guy Raz on NPR. Our guest today is Zee Avi. This is her single, Bitter Heart." Now, Zee Avi, how does it feel like coming from Malaysia and being, and I was like,
Yeah. Like
So I
fucking
pun cuma
CNN.
zen juga,
Yeah.
But yeah, so they actually named my album. They couldn't place one genre. So they named my first album Jazz, Americana, and Island Indie Pop.
Oof.
Wow.
I was like, what's Island Indie Pop? I love that. That's mine.
Wow.
That's mine. Yeah, I'm gonna run with
So,
that.
guys, that's the genre.
That's my genre. Island Indie Pop.
Island indie pop.
Island.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So, and then we started like a relationship with NPR. I did like the whole rounds of visiting like NPR shows and things like that. But Morning Becomes Eclectic, which is on KCRW, which is also part of
Yeah.
NPR. I've played both albums for KCRW, and they're very supportive of me. The producer Ariana has been a long time supporter of my music as well. But yeah, Bob Boylan, I met him, and guy apa namanya? And I met the guys from All Songs Considered.
Okay,
And we
okay.
did like an interview, and then they just started Tiny Desk at the time. So at the time, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, God, Bob, this is your office. I'm like, oh, I like your Beatles bobbleheads, you know. And
So literally,
yeah,
it is a working desk that they clear up and you play.
it's in an office.
That's sustainable, man. That's how you do it, huh? We
Yeah,
still
and
haven't
now it's
gotten to
the
that yet.
largest online music platform.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's a great.
I guess
Yeah,
now they
man.
got now it's a fake desk lah. I was like, it looks like a real office. I don't know.
They just
That's awesome
recreated
lah.
that in like a proper studio.
Yeah. It's all set.
I,
Yeah.
I
But
would hope that'd be too much Waynesworth type thing. It would ruin the whole
Yeah.
authenticity of it all. Like you just want to keep it.
I want there to be, you know how Bill and Ted 3 just came out?
Oh,
Yeah.
I need there to be like another Wayne's World. Like I need that.
Mike Myers.
I
is
didn't know I
thick.
needed it,
Thick,
but
yeah.
I do now. I need it. Yeah. But
Oh
yeah lah.
man.
You know, like I don't flex a lot, but I can say I'm first Malaysian to play Tiny Desk.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of first.
Yeah.
First
you're
Malaysian
pioneer.
artists do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hold-
You peneroka tau. You know, like the first.
Singer, songwriter,
yeah.
peneroka.
Are you
And,
the
and
ol-
super
are you,
proud
are you,
because you came from the indie circle, man. All
are you
these
the
big
only
industry
Malaysian? That
guys.
are you the only Malaysian that have played, or has Yuna played, or who? Is there any other Malaysians who have played Tiny Desk?
No.
I think belum. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think Yuna has done Tiny
Yunas
Desk.
have played that.
So you're the one and
Lain
only
je.
then.
There you go.
For now, hopefully not the only.
Hopefully
Because I
not
want
the
there to
only,
be
yeah.
more.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think we all
Vanopian
want them to be more.
Solitude. Vanopian
Yeah,
Solitude
she should.
would be
She
like,
should totally.
like
Yeah.
honestly, could be, you know,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
candidates for NPR Tiny
There's
Desk.
there's loads of quality musicians here that could play.
Yeah, you got-
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah,
why,
that-
one of the reasons why I came back is because I was like, okay, yes, we are ready. And I want to
Yeah.
be a part of that preparation. I want to
Yeah.
frontline that change and progress.
A lot of us
Like-
know.
Not
A lot
now.
of us know that they're ready. It's convincing them that they're ready is I think one of the major problems. Like
I
Hey.
think because the people who call the shots are the ones who are not ready
Yeah.
to.
I mean, if you call the shots in this room, you know, Fabian, Brandon, and me, we're always ready, man.
Hey, we always ready. Come on. When you want to
They never look-
start
they
calling
never-
Ons
shots.
je. Kita ons
Ons
je.
je.
They never wink to our side, you know. It's like, that's good, handsome, good. I don't know, man. Yeah.
And,
That's-
Well, you know, that's the thing that we have to change. That's the perception that we have to
we're-
get out of that reality, that old
Yeah.
formula. I keep saying we need to change this formula that you've been feeding us since
Yeah.
the beginning of time. Like it ain't like that no more.
yeah.
You
Fish
want to
came out,
ask
kan?
for my advice? So macam mana kita nak buat music kita export? We gotta fix our
Yeah.
house first. That's how.
100%
You know,
agree.
like in the US, they don't care about how you look. They don't care about
Yeah.
the numbers of your social media. They just have to like your
music.
music.
They dig
your
it and
content.
they'll do the best to push. Well, yeah, the attitude, right?
Exactly.
The attitude is different.
It's
man.
we have all the platforms, guys.
Yeah.
We have, but the
Yeah.
thing that we lack is the appreciation and support from each other.
Yeah, it's the same back
'Cause
home.
everybody's trying to compete.
Yeah.
There's not enough room in this pond.
Exactly.
Like when will we realize that we as Malaysians, berapa kali dah in the past, you know, that we actually achieve much greater things if we work together. Honestly,
yeah. Yeah.
you know,
True.
macam K-pop tu kan. The
Hmm.
reason why they're so big is because the government backs them and Samsung
Yeah.
backs them.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean? So
It's an export, man. Yeah.
it's
Ni tak boleh habis
it's-
sawit saja, semua sawit je. Nak
Semua
export
sawit.
You know, so to me, macam it's very simple, you know, but it's very hard to achieve. I get that, and you know, macam for me, I can't say much because unlike my friends who are in the music industry, you know, like you guys have held down the fort. You guys have been here, you
Yeah.
know, and you've experienced a lot more in the scene here than I have. All I can do is just ask you, like, what can I do to help? You know? Macam, so when people ask me, macam, what do you think? So I'm like, I tak tahu. I don't know the scene here. But all I know is from my friends lah, who like tell me, like, I hear a lot more frustrations than hopefulness. But I'm hoping that will change. Because like for the past year that I've been here too, like I've experienced some battles. You know, that I guess, you know, for 10 years I've been away, that's what it prepared me for.
Yeah.
You know, macam I want us to be more respectful to local artists. That's why Indonesian scene is so strong, because they respect their homegrown artists. And Indonesia is a nation, when they hear a song, they know who wrote the song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Over here, they
They
know who
sing
sang.
along, man. They sing along.
It's the same principle of like, if we go to a restaurant, kita tanya who's the owner instead of who's the chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need to have some sort of like appreciation education and, you know, reevaluate ourselves. And by that I mean we need to really listen out. Like whenever I go to like meetings ke apa, I always, because I'm indie Cindy, like I've always been indie, that's where my foot is in, but I have one foot out also, in order for me to like find a way for me to bridge that. And at any moment I get, like I always, you know, throw my friends' names in the hat. And I know more people in the indie scene than I do in the mainstream, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, then the
You
scenes
know,
always,
because-
the other scenes were
Yeah.
not always.
I appreciate the arts.
Yeah.
And over here, sad to say, like I've played events here where it's very biased treatments. Very biased treatments, you know. Macam an international band would get a better treatment than local bands. Why is that?
Yeah.
Macam, why? Like, why? You know, this is our land. This is our home. Why are you treating us less than... Fine, like they're our guests. We are very good at that, warm hospitality towards others and not ourselves. Sedih lah, I dengar cerita macam my friend main festivals and then they would get like almost zero treatment, but they're doing the same groundwork as everybody else. So what's up?
They're fine words.
Art is
Zee.
very simple. You know, it's all about courtesy. It's all about treatment. If you treat us nice, if you feed us well, pay us well, we will give you the most bomb show.
Yeah.
You will not
And
forget.
more.
Well,
Yeah.
And
more.
Unfortunately, we have run out of time here. It's literally about to cut off here, unfortunately, on our Zoom call.
So we'll continue.
If you want,
If
We
you want,
can do
we,
part 3, part 4.
we can
Ada
do-
lagi.
let's
Ada
go
lagi,
like because
kan?
we're like
okay,
I'm
one more.
fine
This
with
should be
one
the
more.
first time we're doing
Let's
3
find number
parts.
3. So
Why
like
not, guys?
I'm fine to continue.
All right, let's
conversation's
go
one
going
more.
really
Let's
well.
do this, Laden.
Okay, so guys, we are going to do a part 3 for the very first time, so this is special.
Okay, can we have a
So,
2-minute break though, just to go and
yeah, you
check
do whatever you need to do in
Okay,
2 minutes.
okay.
Okay, guys, we'll
Yeah,
see you in
okay.
a couple of minutes. And we've just made history. We're into part 3, the first part 3 of the Wisdom podcast. Thank you,
alright.
Zee Avi, for having a conversation. It kept us going, and for agreeing to come into part 3. That's been a great
Yeah,
conversation.
testimony how chill this is, that you're comfortable. That you
Super
feels
chill,
like,
guys. Just so you guys know that in the beginning, I was like, oh, maybe I can only do like 1 hour lah.
Yeah.
My social battery, blah, blah, blah. Election. Bila sampai, jap lagi tengok lah. I'll be like, no, is that all?
Is that all
Do
part
box
4
set.
and 5 right now?
terus box set, terus box
I
set
love
terus.
Set.
You know how I know we're all musicians? Because like, we're talking super late and we don't sleep. We just want to
Yeah.
sleep. What's that?
Oh
Yeah.
god.
We're just waking up right now. It's like
Ah,
Yeah,
breakfast.
after-
actually,
Yeah, breakfast.
not gonna lie, I woke up from a very long nap prior to this session. So, you know, and
Woke up from a long nap. Habis
Long nap is sleep
basking.
lah. Long nap is sleep lah.
tapi Fabian tadi pergi buat apa? What did you do? Walk.
Basking.
Maybe in the
Pergi walk also.
Fabian destroyed an
What?
international badminton tournament this week. Fabian is a goddamn genius. Some,
Badminton?
People need
No,
to
no,
hear
no.
the story. Fabian, tell the story.
Fabian, tell your
quickly.
story lah.
This is
Okay, so
amazing.
Z, I'm actually a sports journalist. I work for the New Straits Times,
Oh
and
my
that's my
God.
other life. Okay, so um, so I mean, international badminton was supposed to resume after this whole long break because of COVID and all that. So international badminton was supposed to resume in October with the Thomas and Uber Cup. Okay, so that was supposed to be the big thing.
In Denmark.
But certain countries were pulling out, but the world body still wanted to go on with the tournament. And then somehow I got info that Indonesia, being the top seeds, 13-time winners, were going to pull out from the tournament. But Indonesia were not going to make the announcement yet. They didn't want to make the announcement. So, and I had the story. I called my boss lah. I was like, "Hey, so how what do we done?"
So
Boss
how,
like,
yeah.
bang the story lah. Bang the story, and then Indonesia had no choice. They had to make the announcement the very next day, and then the world body had to call for an emergency meeting
The
lah. This
whole
lah,
thing.
pop. Thomas Cup cancelled. I mean postponed lah.
Fabian. So,
Fabian just went and cancelled the Thomas Cup lah.
You
Right,
did
song for Thomas.
single-handedly.
Destroy
that's your next song, Fabian. Your song should be called Thomas.
a full week's work for crew, Makan people, everybody.
Yeah,
just a
just
full week's work destroyed.
Boost.
Cause
Even
big-
siapa budak
big
Fabian
hoo-ha
Mak
in the
Peter ni.
badminton world. Yeah.
And this tournament was in Denmark. It wasn't like it was in
Yeah, it's
Indonesia. It
supposed
was
to be
in
in Denmark.
Flights cancelled, hotels ruined, budgets all
Hey,
destroyed.
The
Hey,
whole
Fabian
world
saved
knows
lot.
Fabian lah.
Fabian
Thanks,
saved a lot of lives.
Fabian.
Fabian saved a lot of lives.
No,
You know,
Yeah.
actually, yes, I'm with Asmil on that
Correct.
sentiment.
Could have been the next cluster.
Yeah. The
Cluster
Thomas Cup
Thomas.
cluster.
But
Cluster
seriously,
badminton.
I mean,
Cluster badminton.
That's the
no, because it was going to be
Let's-
difficult anyway. Denmark were not
Yeah.
prepared to because they've got no 14-day quarantine and nothing, So like some of these Asian countries, they wanted assurance. They're like, we've got strict SOPs here in our country. We
Yeah,
expect you
yeah.
guys to have those kind of strict SOPs. But they're like, oh, we've already created a safe bubble. We are confident. Football has already resumed. We have
True.
already televised this and that. But tak boleh lah. And you know what the funny
Yeah.
thing? So when the Indonesian media picked up on the story, they were like, what the heck is going on? How come someone from Malaysia broke this story or whatever, right? And the
Aiyo.
word that they used, lawak though, kabar burung. That's how it was reported.
Itu burung, itu dia burung Fabian Mak Peter.
That is a song title and a
Yeah,
half.
that's song title,
Kabar-
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kabar
Kabar
burung.
That should be
burung.
your next song, Fabian. Kabang Borong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Collab with Abang Asmil deh.
Kabar burung.
Kabar burung. Yeah.
Have you guys ever
Hey.
collaborated by any chance?
Tak ada lah, main
Tahu
live
tak
je.
lah.
Pernah dengar Brandon.
je.
Oh, that's funny story, man. Penang Jazz Fest.
Yeah, me and Azmil had to play a show at like 7 in the morning up a hill in Penang.
Penang
or
Jazz
the
Festival.
Penang Island.
The most
Jazz
unnatural
Festival.
setting for musician, right? Fucking 7 in the morning. We had to climb this
Yeah.
hill, but Brandon tried to stay awake by not sleeping. Of course.
No, I have this thing
jadi
where I
lah.
just like I get like anxious like when I know I have an early.
Is that your
show.
travel style too? Like you don't sleep if you have like a
Like if I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
flight at 6, I'm not sleeping. No,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stay awake.
Just like your flight from Langkawi to
Yeah,
to
yeah, and that
Singapore.
was worse. Yeah, that was Langkawi to Singapore. And so Asmil and I had to do a little. We didn't even practice. We just like, hey, just Asmil also just chill. Asmil, damn chill, Asmil. That's the way, Asmil. I love playing. I love watching Asmil. I love playing with Asmil. It's just great. And
I can't believe
Life
like
is-
I'm in a podcast honestly with Asmil, because like Asmil, when I was still Coco Kaina, like everyone's like, Asmil, man, Asmil, like
Serious.
I want to go to that
Wow.
gig this Saturday. You going? Asmil, and I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, for sure, definitely. I'll see you there.
Man. You know how much an introvert I was. I mean, I was scared gigging. So I always get smashed. It became a habit, so I get smashed anyway.
Yeah.
Smash
But, yeah.
is also a Smash is also a badminton lingo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we in a
Yes.
badminton get along.
just tying it back there.
So will we bring this third part back?
Come, yeah.
Back home.
Yeah.
And let's talk about let's talk about Borneo.
Borneo. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Borneo representation.
You know how many times, Z, I've driven up. Okay, maybe I don't mind this being on record, but I've been Tulu, Miri, back and forth like a lot of times using the road, and pretty
Ah.
inebriated because you don't have to go Longhouse and Dayak family. You know, you go to Mirop, and I survived. There's no phone line, there's no street lights, there's all potholes, but that was character building. It made me into a man. Borneo, thank you. It's like
I'm from Miri, actually.
yeah, that's why I remember. Yeah, it's like crazy, man. It's
There's
like,
so many of my friends from Miri. So
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
there's
from
so many
Lutong.
musicians. There's so many musicians in KL
Lutong.
who are all from East Coast Malaysia. So many.
God.
From East Coast.
Ramai.
Ramai.
East Malaysia, not East
So
Coast.
many
East Coast is
East
Terengganu,
Malaysia,
brother.
East Malaysia.
Yeah.
There could be Sabah or Sarawak from
It's
East
either
Malaysia.
Sabah or Sarawak. Yeah.
And
Either Sabah or
Malina is
Sarawak.
from Sarawak. Malina.
Yes. The
Yeah.
Sharon, the
Alina.
Chong
Sharon.
sisters are from Sabah.
Sisters.
Balikat from Sabah. Sabah
Dave-
also got a lot of really cool
Yeah,
musicians from there.
Loads,
Yeah.
Jude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jude from
So
Sabah.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking about Borneo representation, I think like that's what my friend Farouk and I started Oha TVs because like we want to highlight these young voices who come from a very completely different mentality altogether. You know, they start to use their voice a lot more because they are aware of what didn't happen for us
Yeah.
in the
Yep.
past.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you hear a lot of like, oh, Borneo banyak bakat lah, Sarawak, Sabah banyak bakat.
Yep.
But you don't hear a lot from us because
Unless the
I
bakat
have
come
to
to
say there's of course an underlying biasness
Yeah.
in terms of how we are appreciated and through the platforms and opportunities we are given. I'm lucky in the sense that I got to move to KL, and with my upbringing and things like that, I got to experience things more on a global scale. I am a product of globalization, but I just think that if the same amount of focus and attention is given to Borneoan artists, everyone would be very pleasantly surprised on how much talent there is. But also,
Yeah.
Borneoans are people with so much humility to the point where they're the keyakinan diri is like, who's gonna want to hear me sing? Like, no lah, it's okay. But every now and again we get the young courageous voices to the forefront, and they know that they're not being listened to or heard, and their solution is to just keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking as loud as you can, until eventually someone's gonna want to listen to you, just so they can be like, okay, what is what. And I'm glad that it's happening because 10 years ago, I don't think that would probably have happened. But because of the internet and things like that, information becomes accessible, and therefore, the history of our people becomes more accessible, and this information is widely shared through social media. And with that, they form like a community and an awareness of where we want to be and want to go. Yeah. I think, yeah.
But how
So-
was he like? You see, for example, macam, I would say like even myself, I would consider myself very fortunate because I'm from Penang, but making the move to KL and then you're exposed to you have all these platforms here in KL, but if you go back to the States, like tak ada, like even in Penang kan, the talent there is like crazy, but then you go back there, it's still just your normal pubs here and there, and then you just have a bunch of guys still playing covers, but you see the ones who come out and then come to KL, and then so I would think like in Sabah and Sarawak, gila babi banyak kot, people there and the talent there, like the kind of platforms, kan?
I mean, definitely for me, the best that I can do as a musician, because I'm in no way, I don't advocate for things that I have very little knowledge about.
Hmm.
Like the way that I know how is to provide a platform like Oha TV, so that
Hmm.
we can curate the brightest of what Sarawak has to offer. And again, it's not just limited to music,
Correct.
but also it's a place where all these Sarawakian creatives have
Mhm.
a place to talk shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think macam you know I actually am planning to go live in Sarawak for a little bit, just for a few months, just to be like, okay, guys, I'm here, and I
Yeah.
want to hear you. I
Yeah.
want to listen
Yeah.
to you. Come and see me. Show me what you got, and we're going to work on something together. Like
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
That's my focus right now as an artist.
Yeah.
I love
Which is
being a
good because
performer,
rhetoric.
but I feel like my duties and my purpose have somewhat evolved to doing something for my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
There's
put your
there's
money where
skills
your
now.
mouth is.
There
Like
is a
that's
very
good.
clear. I mean, there's a lot more artists from Sarawak now also. Like, I mean, you got Alina and the bands, and so I think you
I'm
can
glad that
leverage
there's
on
like
that,
a lot
right?
of like Sapek centric bands, because these
Yeah.
young people are definitely doing something to
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
our roots alive, especially with what Alina is a great advocate for
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sarawakian culture. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's beautiful, and she's very also a calm person to listen to, and with all that amount of ancient knowledge that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
carries with her. She is an international artist. She's played more
Yeah.
countries than I have. She played on the
Yeah.
Ford.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
man.
like, I mean, who's done that before? With all these like amazing world music artists. Alena, out of anyone else from Malaysia, would have the best chance to get into the Grammys
Yeah.
Hmm.
through
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
world music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a really cool cat. When she first came to KL, I remember this was like 2013. I was playing gigs at Pisco Bar,
Mm.
and suddenly like Nico, the owner, was like, "Hey, this is our mojito tuak." So where you get the tuak from? From her, and I pointed to Alina. Alina just came, and she was playing open mic, and she wasn't just doing her own thing. It's like, whoa.
Excuse
So
me.
all right, so it's Sarawak, huh? Oh, about tuak, all right. So now tuak's a commonplace, right? Come on, Fabian. I mean, we got you can get tuak now all over KL. I think that's a
Yeah,
positive.
Yeah.
man.
There's a positive development. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of
yeah.
tuak cocktails selling for 50
Yeah, but that's
ringgit.
the
I'm
thing. So
like,
yeah, but it's
no
cocktail lah.
thanks.
And flavored kan, flavored. People mana
Yeah.
minum flavored.
But actually, rice tuak is very hard to find now. Like people tuak
Yes.
everything
Origin.
else other than rice.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, actually, I met Alena when she was still working in a corporate job, and she
Mm.
showed me some of her paintings, and I said, "Honey, like these are beautiful." And she's like,
Hmm.
Get
"Yeah,
to
but I
it.
just don't have time to do them anymore." And I was like, "Babe, you always have to make time for the things that
Yeah.
you love." And what I love about this story is that she had mentioned this in an interview, and I love me a good credit, honestly. And she wrote me a couple of years later and said she quit her job, and she's because of our conversation, she like decided to venture into into the arts,
Mm.
for good. And I mean, aren't we all just super glad she made that decision? I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And she has a
Awesome, man.
studio kan dekat
In
Zongshan.
Zhongshan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Zhongshan was my stomping ground for a while.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love to go to Zongshan also. Lepak dekat tandang, the guys there, bogus.
Ah, yeah, karaoke. Karaoke, kita karaoke malam kat situ.
Mm. Shaitan
Balik
Radio.
balik pukul
Yeah.
6
Dia got
pagi,
Shaitan. Yeah.
so yeah, good times. But I mean, I'm glad like you are allowing me to talk about Borneo representation, to
Very
open that
important,
space
man.
to
That's
Very,
super.
very
talk
important. Yeah.
about that,
I mean,
because
MA63. I mean, again, the history about Malaysia forming. You know, I always use this analogy that Malaysia was like a band. There's 4 members, and then 1 member left, which was Singapore.
Singapore, yeah.
So there's 3 band members that form Malaysia. Sabah,
Robbie
Sarawak,
Williams had to do his own
Malaya.
thing, you know.
Yeah, fuck Robbie and let him be this island state. Uh, yeah, but but the narrative got changed, right? Somewhere halfway around the lines, like suddenly this one band member was dictating everything. So I think we need to go back to
Correct.
that. It is a federation. We are,
It is the federation.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting. It's Nirvana, all three members, not just Kurt. Che,
Yeah.
I don't know lah. Whatever trio you want to throw in lah, Cream with Clapton and Ginger Baker, whatever lah. You know, except
If it's
Jimi Hendrix.
Nirvana, then it's Singapore Dave Grohl.
No, he was
No.
probably the guitarist who didn't play on Bleach.
Oh,
Jason Everman, yeah, that's
Jason
Singapore.
Everman,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's Singapore. Sorry, Singaporeans.
Jason Everman.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
It's a good analogy because Jason Everman paid for Bleach, but never played on Bleach. And Singapore.
No, his
probably-
name was there.
Have you
Singapore
guys
probably
He
played
didn't play.
Singapore?
He didn't play. He didn't play at all.
Has any of you
Sorry?
played Singapore?
Yeah,
Brandon,
yeah.
you
Play
played
a
Singapore,
lot of
didn't
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play a lot of times.
Yeah.
I've got good friends there. I even did a split EP with
Singapore
some
treatment for artists number one.
number one,
Mhm.
Jaga You, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of
I
like
remember
the
playing Bay Beats. I remember playing
Huh.
Bay Beats in 2007. There was like a sound man for each band member. I was like, this is fucking insane. You don't have sound mans at all in
I
KL.
I love it when things have a flawless system like that, especially in a working environment, which is what I'm like definitely used to a lot. And I think like one of my challenges coming back is that every time there's like some sense of incompetence, they always say, "Welcome back to Malaysia," or
Aduh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got,
"Salah,
yalah,
what to do?"
itulah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like that pains me when I hear that because like saying that is very dismissive
It
to
is, it
growth.
is.
It's very dismissive to finding solutions.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, well, what to do? That's
Yeah,
that.
No, or
Yeah.
I used to always get when I first moved here. Oh, be okay lah, and I'm like going like, this is not going to be okay. It's not
It's
going.
not gonna be okay. Yeah, yeah. No, that okay lah thing is not good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
okay lah. No,
Yeah.
no, that's not okay.
I think we have so much potential, so much
I
potential.
keep-
but we just need
That's
the
literally
right.
literally the sentence I told my friends to go, what's the Malaysian music scene like? I go, it's got so much potential, man. I mean, there's so much talent here, but they're a lot of it's they've been held back by the culture that is holding themselves back, like I
Yeah.
go,
And
like there's-
funding.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Money.
that's the culture holding them back because like no one wants to fund it because there's a culture of like, oh, but it's arts, it's music, we don't need to fund that. What do we do?
You know, when people
Nonsense.
think of funding arts, they think of funding like the traditional sense.
Yeah.
of
Yeah, that's
Gamelan
just,
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're-
even the study of music in Southeast Asia is always very traditional.
yeah.
It's important, but the contemporary is also saying about who we are now. It's just not being charted, and that's what I'm interested in. Yeah.
Well, the archaeology,
Yeah.
the archaeology of anything is not just about ancient stuff. It's about the evolution of cultures, which includes
Exactly.
includes
Exactly.
modern
Yeah.
No,
evolution.
we need to upgrade so many things, like our technical gear, all of that needs to be
Yeah.
upgraded. You know, like you
Yeah.
have the talents. Like we're just waiting for the perfect stage, the perfect mics, the perfect mixers, the perfect speakers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the right sense of mentality, such as
Yeah.
courtesy, and passion and thoughtfulness. A lot.
Yeah.
To me, one of the best working environments I've ever been on was the Jack Johnson tour, where I opened for him, and we played to like berpuluh ribu orang, like 30 to 50,000 people, maybe even more, every single night for 2 weeks. And I have to tell you, everybody on the crew, from the sound guy to the lighting guys, all positive, humble, no ego. They love their jobs. They know what they're supposed to do. No one does more, no one does less, and everyone is awesome in like their attitude. You know, makan pun every place that we went to, it's all from local produce, local farms and everything, everything fresh. You know,
Of
Jack's a
everything, yeah.
family man, and he brought his family. You know, sometimes sound checks done for him while he goes surfing, and it was like a very nice environment. But for me, macam, I appreciate when I meet nice sound guys.
Mm.
Right now, Derek. Yeah.
Hey!
Right
Yeah,
on.
right on, Derek.
Yeah.
True
Like
lah.
that makes a whole lot of difference because the sound guys are the people that we see first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the people who is going to set the tone for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People for budak-budak tak faham tu. Yeah. They,
I
Yeah,
tell
how
you,
everything
macam
works,
like,
kan?
I don't want
Yeah.
to see your jadedness. Like I don't need to
Yeah.
see that. Like
Well,
I don't.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
know, if
try.
you don't.
We try not to bring it out, but sometimes it does come across. But it
You-
Yeah,
should.
you're
that's-
exposed to
That's
so much.
standard lah. That's the thing
yeah,
about.
yeah.
You know,
That's
that's why I say
occupational
it's very
hazard.
rare. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
rare.
yeah.
But like
to
Yeah.
find like.
at that level of tour, the sound guys have got everything that they need to work with. They're not doing everything on their own. They've got the best gear. They've got every single piece of gear they could ever want. They've got guys doing everything for them. They've got multiple guys doing multiple of everything with them. So the sound guy just needs to concentrate on doing his job as a sound. At the lower down level, then we're generally end up having to do multiple jobs at multiple times on really pretty crappy gear. Especially, and I hate to criticize this country, but especially in Malaysia, where a lot of the venues have got really, really crappy gear, and you're trying to do your best
That's
job.
what I'm
with
saying. Like we just need the
with-
funding to
so-
upgrade all of
so
that.
you're
No, but you know,
You're
no,
ready
but you
in a-
know,
you're ready in a bad
no, but you
mood.
see, shitty gear also creates an aesthetic. Like I became more shouty because playing underground venues and the mics fucked up. They can't hear what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and my lyrics are quite important, right? So that's how I became shouty. I talk a lot more. But you know, I'll be bummed out if like the mic's too good. I was like, I don't know what to do now.
Look at this mic. Is this a good mic?
The-
Is the Shure 58?
the beta? The
Yeah.
beta
Is it
Oh,
beta?
yeah, hey, that is
That's a-
full.
it's-
That Yeah.
I don't like using it on Asian female singers because it's got a lot of high end, so its sibilance
Yeah,
is a problematic with the beta.
But I use that. That works for me.
That's like oddly really specific Asian female singers.
He's a sound engineer,
it's
man.
how, it's how you pronounce, specifically Chinese, how they pronounce the S's is really sharp, and that mic's got a lot of high end,
Cuts
top
through.
end.
Yeah,
So
man.
when they're pronouncing the sibilance and the round about 8 kilohertz, the S's is really, really overpronounced for that mic. So I would go down I would go usually for the basic SM58 because you don't have to worry about that top end killing
Okay.
killing
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Okay, it's a
sibilance.
little generalizing there a little bit, but I'll
Sorry,
let
I
it
was
slide.
you literally asked
We
the
touch
sound-
on
Mike's
Mike.
you asked
we
the sound
touch on
engineer a
everything
question.
here.
You asked the sound
I'm
engineer a question.
holding my mic and like singing to people and not
Yeah.
like seeing myself while I do it.
At least you're holding it correctly. At least you're holding it correctly.
He's, yeah.
Well, fun fact: Publica busking, they use a Beta 58.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I, you know,
If you love it, then it'd be the mic that I would work. If
it's
whatever singer
more-
brings me their mic, then it's the mic I will use. It's the-
yeah, this is I bring my own mic because I like
Good.
to get close.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to like inadvertently kiss somebody.
Yeah.
Well, a good sound engineer should always bring baby wipes with them anyway, which I always do. So we always wipe. If it's multiple
Zee,
singers,
get-
we'll always wipe the
give-
mics
give-
with baby wipes.
Give a tip because, like, you know, a lot of singers in bands, they think that I'm a singer, I don't buy any instruments because you're a guitarist, you buy guitar. You know, but if
Buy
a
a
singer, buy your own
microphone.
fucking mic. Buy your
Buy a
own fucking
microphone.
mic, man.
Buy a microphone.
Can you please say that? Yeah.
It makes
Buy
a
a
difference,
microphone,
really,
switch your
guys.
voice.
It really
Exactly.
makes a
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah,
you feel
I
more
bring my own mic.
comfortable, more
We
safe,
talk-
and to
we
me,
talked this about
because
last
I'm
year.
I'm an Asian female singer, so I wear lipstick.
Ah.
So you only get like lipstick mics.
She says you wear
lipstick marks
lipstick.
on the
She
mic,
says you wear lipstick. Not about her
you know.
syllabus.
So like by the end of the set, it'll be like red.
Oh yeah, always, always.
So
And
if I
and you
bring my own
recognize
one, like
your color tone. You recognize your own
if
color tone.
my own
That's
mic,
not
like
my
tak
color.
apa, like got glitter on there, you know, it's fine. Alright.
Which is
As to
which
the
is also
sound,
a
as
good
to
thing.
the, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But I would need some help with like figuring out the kind of amp. I don't use amp really. I use DI, just like straight
For your
up.
acoustic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Ah, some tips here. Yeah. So now it's become, yeah. All right, tonight we're gonna
You-
share
you-
some.
Gear talk.
you would only need
Go.
an amp. You would only need a acoustic amp if you really want to hear your acoustic guitar, unless it's really really bad monitoring, then that's when you would need your acoustic amp. But generally, a DI should work. If you've got a decent monitor, a DI should work fine.
I recently bought an amp finally after all these years. It's from one of the guys who started AER.
AER's
and
fine.
called-
Great
Yeah.
amps.
called D.
That's
No,
good.
no, but it's not AER. It's
Under
one
AER,
of the guys started
something
like
separate.
his own thing.
Cool.
Same quality but half the price.
Well,
I
it's-
forget
Oh,
what it's
Yeah,
called.
sweet.
yeah.
One of the guys who started
Correct.
AR amps, then you're fine. You're in a good ballpark range of really good.
It's
amps. Like,
beautiful. I
There
love
you go.
it.
Where do you buy? Where do you get this amp from?
Guitar
Where do you
store.
okay.
Guitar
Yeah,
store.
but
What's it called? What was it
okay.
called? What's it called again? If it's
Telling
half
you,
the
champ.
price, is if half the price is
Oh
great.
no, we have 10 minutes
With
left.
10 minutes
Oh,
left.
okay, tak apa.
Part 4.
Z has left for the bar for a while. She's at the.
She's,
should be-
she said it was an amp, but it might be some shots. Lah.
What's it called?
It's called Da Capo. The
Capo.
Capo.
How you spell that?
Da DACAPO.
DACAP. All right, cool. Half the price, but as good as AER.
I think so. Yes, that's what I was told. That's what I was told.
Okay.
No, but I've heard about it. I've heard about it.
Does it sound nice to you? Does it sound nice to you? Your guitar?
Yeah, that's most
Yeah.
important. Does it sound nice to you?
Then just
Yeah.
bring that for your gigs. Just bring that to your gigs. I think
And they
it's
will
just-
mic. It's very small.
They
as
don't. They
well.
won't make it
Oh,
up.
cool.
It should
Can't wait.
have. If it's like an AR, an AR's got a direct XLR input in the back.
It's got
You
all
just
like the
plug it in.
effect settings on there
Yeah,
too
yeah,
that I
yeah.
really
Yeah.
like.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like they'll not make it up.
Two
They-
channels.
Yeah, that sounds like
So you
exactly
can
like
do
an AR.
one for
yeah.
your mic, one for your.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't-
Very nice.
don't worry, your amps are RTD2, you know, so it goes there. They understand which to go in. You know, it's like bunyi
I like the
bell.
guitar store because they're very friendly over there. They're like,
Yes, they're very good.
educating me about it. This is called an XLR cable. Like that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Tak tanya pun dia explain. Yeah.
But I was like 2 years old because I was like, oh, no, the mic cable. Like, oh, now I know. I actually, even though I've been in this industry for like 10 years, guys, like I'm still learning
We're all
about
still learning.
basic
Oh, we're all.
things.
Yeah.
You know, like basic things though that you're supposed to know as well.
Learning never ends, man.
Yeah, it never ends.
Like publishing, I will never understand that.
Oh man, that one.
Publishing
lawyer
is where you
territory
make
already.
money.
Yeah.
That's the only thing a musician should know about publishing. What's publishing do?
No, but there's
That's
like
where you make
also
money,
like a
right?
lot of like other kind of like loopholes around it, and you know like just to understand the basic clause.
Clause. That's
Yeah.
one,
Because
yeah.
eventually, I would love to start something like that here, where I can just sign, you know, musicians and songwriters to me and have a home for your songs and get you paid if people
You-
ever
you
play
take care.
them.
Yeah,
Why not?
Right,
yeah.
like I
Do
want
it.
that. Like start a record label, a little predictable, but you know,
Publishing, yeah.
Yeah.
like, yeah,
publishing.
like you know,
Mm.
something like that could be really fun.
The understanding is very poor here about publishing. Still, even in universities,
Very.
music
E-
students don't understand about publishing.
Even
It
bu-
blows
even
my
by
mind.
even by signing up
Like what?
the performing rights industries here, they like I've had to tell a few guys here to sign up their own music to performing rights here in Malaysia, so they'll
Then,
get some royalties at the end of the year. So yeah,
Yeah.
the knowledge
That
is-
So how
helps.
to get-
actually.
It does help.
It helps when you know these things. And when
Yeah.
I first got into it, you find out that anytime you play, even if it's an open mic, you can go and claim money for that.
Yeah.
It's your money.
You just have to go. Yeah, no matter where you go, as long as you're playing and that body has, that establishment has an entertainment license, and they are allowed to have live music or whatever,
Yeah.
you can. And I survive off live music, private live music or public. And I was told yes by Derek a few years ago as well. And last year, I finally signed up with a publisher who, what they do is they'll just do all the work for you. They track back over about a year or so, a year or two.
Yeah.
And whatever show you've done, it could be residency contracts with restaurants or anything. As long as you've got your works registered, that venue has a valid license for everything. You can just claim money for
Yeah.
your songs, you know. And we are not taught this Anywhere.
Anywhere.
I went to SAE as well. Even if it's
Nothing.
business, they'll mention publishing and other aspects of the industry, but you don't actually dive into
Yeah.
it, and they don't
Yeah.
educate you as to how they don't push you out and say, hey, maybe go and write your own songs.
Yeah, exactly. And especially also with like sometimes when I speak to like up and coming artists, they're like, wait, you mean there's like specific lawyers for the entertainment industry and specific accountants for that? I'm like, yes, boo boo.
Yeah.
You
Look-
know, and
look
it's
in the-
good
in-
information
yeah.
to know.
Yeah. Look in this room. How many of us is studied music? None of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kids coming out from university studying music are completely depleted of that knowledge. Tak ada. Because I've guessed it. I've taught some, and I can't teach music too. I don't ever learn all the tauge. But I realize that it just blows my mind. It's like, man, you're studying music, you're studying production, and formally studying. Because a lot of good guys, you know, who does stuff, it's never formal. You learn, you know, school of hard
Informal.
knocks, right?
It's all informal.
Yeah. So I mean, if people are paying a fee to go university, paid stuff, I think there's a responsibility by the education
Yeah.
institutions to you. Come on, man, it's just moral. It's a moral, ethical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they want to make money, they're going to have to learn how to actually make money from music.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Damn, man.
It's
Sorry.
just not about performing, man. It's like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
a lot of people don't understand is like the easiest part of our job is when we're on that stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's-
Kacang, that one no problem. That's like
Yeah.
yeah.
As soon as you get off that stage, ooh, that's when the real work starts. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Correct.
Like
The least
sometimes-
concern is when you're playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the happy part.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So you know, because like also macam when people don't understand like with touring as well, you know, doing cross country tour, people don't understand like you gotta wake up super early.
Yeah. Hey, share a bit about that.
Every day.
When you're touring, yeah. What was the routine like, man? When people think like you party all night touring, no, of course not. Of course
Yeah.
not.
No, absolutely. Like I've had boyfriends who would get like super insecure about stuff like that, and I'm like, you don't understand. I haven't slept.
Yeah.
And not because I was partying, but I was in a van. Okay, I was in a van for 14 whole hours, and now I'm in a Motel 6 by the highway.
Do you know what time my call time was this morning? Do you know what time our call time was this morning? We got no breakfast.
Yeah, and you know, like if you do a promo while you're on tour, like you gotta do early morning
yeah.
radio calls. Sometimes you know, you sleep for like 2 hours, and then you pack back
Yeah.
up because you don't want to leave your gear in the van, so you have to load it back in.
Yeah.
And sleep for like 2 hours, play a radio show at like 5:30, you know, and sing with your morning voice.
Yeah.
Go and
This is
listen
why
to me.
this
Go
why
on,
musicians look a certain way, right? Because it's part of the not enough sleep, the metabolism, and all
Go
that
on,
stuff. That's why you look certain way. You know
All
somebody.
the thoughts that are like burning in your
Yeah.
mind, you
Yeah.
know,
Or
like
try
all
to
of
form
that.
some thoughts.
Go and
Form
listen
some
to
thoughts.
the first verse of Bon Jovi's "Wanted Dead or Alive," and that's tour. It's, so many friends on tour, and they go, "Oh, it's horrendous. It's just horrendous." So
But I do love touring. I love touring a lot because I love
Fun,
to.
isn't it?
I'm
I
a
love-
traveler. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I've learned how to absorb everything in 2 hours in a town.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, for me, it's more
Gotta be
like 1
quick.
hour lah because, you know, I have to like do my hair, my makeup, get ready, you know, like my bandmates would have the most awesome time. Like I remember we were on tour in Hong Kong. And I, not kidding, had the whole day. My Hong Kong was just the hotel ballroom.
Wow.
And the venue and then restaurant. Whilst my
That's about it.
bandmates were like, oh, we went on the cable car and
Wow.
we climbed out this hill. You know, we saw this casino. We, you know, stuff like that. I'm just like,
Touristy.
great. That sounds amazing. I'm glad that you all did that. What was yours? I did 8 hours of press.
There you go.
well,
There
guys,
you go.
we'll leave it at that, and we've come to the end of the podcast now. I think we'll leave it. I know, but it's always good to leave on leaving people waiting on something that's good.
Yep.
So
We should have like a part 2 at some point next
we
time.
definitely will.
Yeah,
100%.
We'll do we should do like bonus track things like stuff outside of the officials.
Right,
you know,
like after hours.
Well,
yeah.
Zee Avi, thank you so much for coming on the
Guys, this
podcast.
was
Thank
such
you
a
so
Thanks,
much.
joy, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Thank you so
having
much.
me.
Absolute pleasure.
I wish you guys all the best. I
Thank
just
you.
want to say that collaboration is key. Support is free. Give it, be it. All of that.
Damn
And
right.
yeah, and I look forward to doing this a lot more and seeing you guys sometime again soon.
See you again.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
soon.
Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Derek,
Thank you very much.
for providing this platform.
Pleasure. Thank you guys
Yep.
very much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Z.
See you again.
Thanks, Z.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Ciao.
good night. Ciao,
Thanks.
guys.
You too.